널 기다렸어.
We are here 9 games in, and you can already see the results. Classic and Trust up at the top. Now, Gumio is up there too, tied for first technically, but he's played 2 more games and he's lost 2 of them.
Yep. SOS at the bottom of the barrel, 1 and 3. Now, Classic going up against Hurricane here. Classic already beat SOS. Now, I've called many PvPs already. They've been like, well, he's the favorite and this and blah, blah, blah. We'll see. Classic is the favorite going to this, but Hurricane beat SOS. And somewhat of a shocking upset there. SOS has been a bit off his game tonight. And a win here for Hurricane would put him at 2-1, so very important. And he's going to skip a game and he'll play another PvP in set 12 against Trust. So he's got a few PvPs back-to-back here now.
Classic, he was looking strong against SOS, but once the DTs hit, he really was scrambling to try to deal with it, and he did not look on his game. If Hurricane could prepare something weird or just go for a strat like he did against SOS, could work out for him. So let's jump into this PvP now on Invader.
No surrender, no trick.
Here we are on Invader, the first time of the night. And over here in the top left, in the red, the Protoss player, it is Classic from SKT.
They're always trying to hide it from you. And over here in the top right in blue, his opponent is Hurricane. So Invader actually I was told cross spawns disabled in this tournament. But we only had left side spawns last week. The vertical spawns on the left side of the map. But this time is going to be our first time we see close by air spawns. And so that means obviously Oracles, Phoenix play, or Prisms, all those things very
Mothership
powerful.
cores. You know, it's about getting that scout down and deciding if they want to go for that build at all. You know, and it's definitely a big deal in PvP. We could be seeing more PvPs. Let me actually check. We have 1 PvZ for game number 15 on Invader. Then we have another PvZ. So this is going to be the only PvP on this map.
Yeah. Invader, a map where if you actually do spawn on those vertical spawns, like we saw every time last week on the left side, it's a very short rust distance, and you get attacked very easily at your third base, which is obviously in PvP an even scarier thought. But it looks like Classic is going to probe scout at the same time Hurricane doing it the opposite side. They're both going to see this and then instantly go to their opponent's base because cross spawns are disabled.
Cross spawns on this map would be insanity. I mean, that would just be a massive map if we wanted to play cross spawns. So
it's like one of the only maps I can ever think of that has cross spawns disabled. Like most maps are like close spawn disabled, vertical spawns disabled.
Yeah.
This map is like, no, we're not going cross spawns. Like, people got to go home, you know. This is a TV show. Like,
no 40-minute games for Legacy of the Void. No thanks. Although that would be pretty cool, especially at cross spawns. You probably get air versus air, Tempest.
This could be like
that.
The map where we could see BCs with teleport and stuff. Like, I still have not yet been able to cast a single game of Battlecruiser in Legacy of the Void, not even one time.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I might have cast one with Nick, maybe, for Pro League. I think it was only 1 game that I cast.
Did they do the jump, the tactical jump? Did it happen?
I don't remember. It was very early on. It was like one of our first games.
Yeah, I was probably doing Heroes during that time or something. I'm not sure. I do kind of remember that. I also remember TY did a game with BCs at some point early in Legacy, but I didn't cast it, so it's still not a game I cast. But all right, well, obviously here comes the scouts with the Mothership cores. He's really committing to staying around for this one, down to 30 health.
He attacked the Nexus. Didn't really work. The Mothership core of Hurricane is going to get a lot more damage.
Yep, there's nothing here because he sent a Stalker across the map. Okay, 2 more Stalkers do pop out. Force that recall. Should go earlier than later, I'd say.
Gets 2 kills and gets out, so that's much better for Hurricane. Already at a 3-probe lead here in this game. He's also got an earlier Nexus on the map.
I think that Classic saw the Twilight Council. Can you check that for me?
Sure, one sec.
There's actually an easier way to check. I'm gonna teach you a better way. If you actually click on any classic unit and hold the V key, it'll show you his vision. And the same is true of Hurricane. I used to do that for the longest time for like years.
It's just hard to do with two hands. Like hold down the V key. And
I guess you probably already
one
knew.
Hand, yeah.
You probably already knew you're holding the mic. I just look like a really mean guy right now. I'm like, hey, you know this really obvious thing you can do, like.
Either way, he didn't see the Twilight Council, so.
Yeah, so definitely like all around better for Hurricane because he was able to get the better scout too. All right, well, here comes this Oracle. Going to get a few kills despite that scout. Wow, 5 kills, but I don't think it's getting out.
Oh, it does. There you go.
At the cost of a lot of stalker hit points. Oh, if he comes back in. 1, he needs 3. It's going to take 3 shots, not going to get it.
So that was definitely worth it. Gets ahead in the probe count now, and here comes the second Oracle swooping in. Going to get a total of 5 kills and then swoop out. So now 33-25, and here comes the damaged one looking for more kills.
Ooh, I don't know about this, though. 2 more shots will kill it. He saves those 2 stalkers in the middle of the map. They can always come for a flank later.
He has his Mothership Core back at home, so he should be fine against this kind of pressure.
It's only 5 stalkers, too, and an Immortal is even about to pop out. If he force fields correctly, he could actually make Hurricane severely regret this move.
See if he does it.
It's going to
overcharge.
Overcharge. There's the force fields.
Oh, he misses it. Unfortunate there.
He didn't send his stalkers home, too, at the same time. He could have maybe tried to go for a bit of a pincer. I think those stalkers in the middle of the map have been slightly neglected at this point in time. They're just out there doing the job. Classic told us to wait. We're just going to wait. We're not going to come home.
Yeah. Well, cross spawns are disabled on this map because of the massive rush distance and the very passive games that it would create. But even at horizontal spawns, we got a pretty large map here in terms of rush distance. You can see Hurricane already taking a third base, even when he's down on supply in terms of workers and army. And part of the reason is it's so far away from Classic, it's going to be very hard for him to pressure that base at all.
Yeah, and in PvP, it's not that important that it's that far away from you because your big, blob army is going to be able to get down there quickly enough and deal with it. Like, you're going to see an attack coming a mile away in PvP, so you can actually get down there and defend. Say, if that was a Zerg's third base, because it's further away from the Terran, it would be less than ideal because drops would really shut that down pretty hard. It's very far away, very difficult to defend. At vertical spawns on this map, you kind of have to expand towards your opponent, and the rush distance kind of shrinks the further you expand. So, this is my first time seeing horizontal spawns on this map, because we didn't have any last week. And it's pretty cool, actually, what we're seeing. And this game could go longer. The big issue for Classic is I don't think he's realized, okay, just scouted that there's a third base there. And it's not only there, but it's complete. And he's going to have to react. He's adding 3 gateways. His charge is on the way too, but Hurricane's charge is even ahead. And he's also getting his 3 gateways, and he can support those a lot better with the third Nexus that's now complete.
And no third Nexus for Classic. None in sight either. He's not sending any probes over to try to make a third Nexus. He is sending his units to clear it out, so perhaps he will make it, but maybe he wants to make sure there's no scout over there, and maybe he'll just add some more units and try to go for an attack.
You know what, though? Hurricane's faking this. He's not even really he's not making probes anymore. Well, as I said, he starts 3 more, but that third base was empty for a long time. He's adding a bunch of gateways. Templar Archive. Classic adds his own Templar Archive. I feel like if Classic just takes a third base here and Hurricane sits back, Hurricane just gets massively ahead. I think Classic wants Hurricane to think he's just going to do that and take a late third, and then he's going to attack. Charge is almost done. There's a Warp Prism finishing up with this, and he's going to have Archons that he can warp in. He's got 500 gas. He could probably grab 2 Archons right away once that Temple Archive finishes. In fact, it is done now. The Warp Prism is done as well. He can send that across. He's going for +2, but he still doesn't have a third Nexus. He's like...
Yeah, he's going for this attack hardcore. He's got more gateways finishing up. He has that Warp Prism. He has a better army in general. Just a much better comp with the 3 Immortals. He's going to be adding Archons, as we said. And now with Charge finishing up, he's got 16 Zealots to the 9 of Hurricane, 3 Immortals to 0.
So Oracle should get taken out. Oh. He's going to be really hard-pressed to find an angle of attack, though. Okay, now he takes his third Nexus, but it's so late. And how is he going to attack? Because of the way the bases are positioned, if he attacks into this, he's always going to be fighting up a ramp. Oh, these Stalkers are caught out, though.
I think he's okay, though. Like, he could even just go into the natural. His army is just so much better at this point.
He needs to make this happen ASAP, though. The longer he waits, the more Hurricane gets that extra money. Look, he's making more Archons right now.
And it looks like he wants to fight the army, in fact. He's not going for any buildings. He's going to get on top of this Archon.
Okay.
Maybe go for the fight here.
Small victory. Force field's going down, as you said. Doesn't have a second one there to lock that down. That could have been disastrous. But look, I mean, it's tough for Classic to fight even with the bigger army up this ramp.
Time Warp goes down, and he lets it fade, which is pretty nice. And it looks like he's going to split up his army. In fact, make a concave at the bottom of this ramp and send just a small group of units towards that natural to begin doing some damage.
Look at this. He's just hold positioning at the bottom of the ramp, forcing this base to stop mining. And look, he's got +2 now and his own third base. I'm starting to like this. It's going to force Hurricane to take the engage. He's going to jump in onto this army.
And he's got a pretty decent army himself, but Classic immediately pulls the other units back to help in the fight. And it looks like he is going to win the fight because of just that. So a really nice job done here by Classic to force the fight by splitting up his army and then taking it at the bottom of the round.
And it turns out, you know, as I said at the beginning of this, I was wrong that the fact that this base is so far away probably wouldn't be a factor in PvP. Nope, it was. GG. Classic cuts the bases in 2, sends like, what, 4 Zealots and 1 Immortal to the natural, something like that. And takes that win. He gets +2. And he just had the larger army and eventually whittled down and forced Hurricane to engage.
Yeah, nice straight-up PvP there. Well, pretty straight up. It was a nice idea that Classic had to say, oh, it's a very big map. You know, I did a bit of damage. You want to get your third base up to try to catch up in the economy because you're assuming that maybe I'll take my third Nexus off of the back of that. But just is able to hit that timing, kind of in the way that Hurricane was able to take out SOS at the third base. It was just like, no, I'm going to shut you down hardcore while you're teching up and trying to get all this other stuff.
Well, Classic will pull ahead of Trust. They're both undefeated at 3-0 and 2-0, but in the next